Welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Let's jump right in and take a look at these markets. That's what we've been all waiting for. See how that corn table looks, brought to us by Bar Chart. Corn is up 2 1/4 cents at 5.52 in that September contract. December right behind at 3.5 cents higher at 5.50 1/4, which is over 10 cents off of the highs. So slip sliding away would be the song I'd be singing to this market right now. How about August soybeans up 18 cents? There we go at 14.30 3/4, 15 cents from the lows, 12 cents from the highs. So pretty much smack dab in the middle of the day's trading range. September up 19 cents. Novi new crop beans up 17 1/4 cents at 13.75 even. How about wheat? What do we have in Chicago for wheat? Up 2 3/4 cents in that September contract at 6.79 3/4. December up 2.5. That's 6.89 1/4. How about Kansas City? Kansas City, here we come. Kansas City hard red wheat, 6 cents higher in that front September contract, 6.45 even as the price. December also 6 cents higher at 6.56 1/2. Why don't we check on Minneapolis while we're at it, huh? Minneapolis spring wheat up 5 3/4 cents at 8.84 1/2. December up 5 3/4 cents at 8.73. Bad news is we're about 12.5 cents off the highs, but we're about 9 cents from the lows. So again, another mid-range trade there in the spring wheat. We're lucky enough to have Brian Hoops, the president of Midwest Marketing Solutions. Brian, good morning to you. Thanks for joining me today. Help me walk through these markets. What are you seeing? What should I be looking at? What should the viewers be, taking note of today?
Hey, good morning, Scott. Yeah, it's almost a complete opposite of 24 hours ago, where we were sharply lower in the overnight, lower in the morning session. Then the grains started to rally and closed higher in corn and soybeans. It's kind of the opposite direction today, sharply higher in the overnight. Early morning hours are higher, and then we start to fade as the day goes on. We've started to see that pattern. It's more of a trading range rather than a trending market, and that can be very frustrating to traders, to farmers as well. This market, I think, is going to struggle here, trying to find some longer-term direction so it can make a new long-term move. And until we have that, we may be faced with these choppy patterns that we're seeing, where it's down in the overnight, morning hours, and then reverse higher, and really no news that's going to change it. It's just a kind of an ebb and flow of the market. So I think that's what we're seeing at this point.
Right, and real quick, we've had some folks come on earlier, and I think that this is pretty true. If you're a technician, I'm not really a technician. I'm more of a fundamental guy, having been out in the fields myself. I like the weather and those types of things. But the technicals are shaping up here in both corn and beans, where we've got, trend lines that are kind of pushing us into a flag or a pennant formation, which means we're making lower highs and higher lows. And it looks like we're winding up in both of those contracts to maybe make a move, and maybe that's what we get out of the August report. Who knows? So stay right there. We're going to take a quick break and pay some bills. We're going to come back with Brian Hoops to talk about the protein markets after this. Well, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shellady. They call me the Cow Guy, and I use that as a great segue into these live cattle markets. How about that? Let's bring up that live cattle table brought to us by Bar Chart. Let's just see what's happening over there. I'm going to say it's kind of a quiet session. We're up 25 cents in the August contract at 123.70. We're up 22 cents in October at 129.42, and then 25 cents in December at 134.22. What's happening with feeders? How are they handling the expensive inputs? They're okay. August is off 70 cents at 161.50, but September posting a gain, 37 cents higher at 165.20. And here we go, October up 55 cents at 167 even. What about lean hogs? Let's bring those up. That's a mixed board and a quiet board. 2 cents lower in August at 107.37. A nickel higher in October, 93.15, to give you an idea about what's been happening over there. We're still lucky to have Brian Hoops with us, the president of Midwest Marketing. Brian, make sense of these proteins for us. I know there's not a ton going on. It's kind of a quiet time. As I had one analyst earlier this week say to us, we're kind of in that in-between time. I don't know, maybe that's a good way to look at it, but give me your thoughts on what these proteins look like.
I think it was Friday before the cattle on feed when I was on with you in the morning. We talked about doing some hedging strategies on cattle, at least buying some put options to remove some of that risk. And we talked if if we did have a positive report, we made new highs. It'd be a good time to do some of that. And so you have December, you have February, April, all up of these new high territories. And at the same time, you have states starting to implement mask mandates once again and talk about spike in COVID cases once again. I don't expect we're going to see anything like we did a year ago, but could we slow things down a little bit as far as people going out and to eat and everything? Some of the demand may be slowing. I think that's certainly possible, and that's why you want to use some of these option strategies, implement some risk management here, but leave that upside wide open in case we do turn the corner or we have a vaccine that works. So I think this is a really good time to start looking at doing some of that marketing.
That is such a great point. I talk about it all the time, and I can't talk about it enough. But, when you shut this economy down, which I was 100% against, by the way, and I'm on record on television saying that, but it's like shutting the gym lights out when you walk away from practice on a Friday night, right? But then when you come into practice Saturday morning and you hit that gym and you turn those lights on, it takes them about 15 minutes. They start, they flicker, they make weird noises. And that's what this economy is in the middle of doing. Now, yeah, we're probably a little bit further down the road than that. But you're right. That's one of the risks. If we decide to shut those gym lights out, or even the thought of maybe even shutting those lights out, could cause some of these protein markets to suffer in that demand scenario. So I love bringing up that. I'm going to actually do maybe a show on that because we really want to talk about that demand scenario and what that could do to these products, both in the grains and the meats. Thank you very much, Brian. That's Brian Hoops from Midwest Marketing. He's the president. Thank you very much. And I'm going to hand it back over now to Janet.